W251CT Gainesville, WRUF FM HD2, and on the WRUF radio. This program is paid for by Weeby Marketing. Hoop, there it is.
Land tees up a three. Good from the left angle. High lob to Connon above the foul line. Alley-oop dunk on a give to House. Over to Flan, wing left for three. Good. Boogie needed that.
Your weekly look at Gator basketball and the biggest stories from around the college hardwood.
Pull up for three. Good from the top. Lob shot, top of the arc. Down the lane. Off for the rim. Alley-oop dunk. Foot race to the other end. Lead to the rack. Two-hand dunk for Xavier Lee.
Hoop There It Is presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, your independent premier MRI facility in Gainesville and Lake City. By Silverback Concrete, you stand on it, we stand by it. And by Meldon Law, the only official injury and accident law firm of the Florida Gators.
And this place is going nuts.
And brought to you in part by Quality Plumbing, International Diamond Center, Castaway Hot Sauce, Coke Zero, Crystal Air and Water, the UF Bookstore, Ruse Ogra State Farm, Chick-fil-A Archer Road, Campus USA Credit Union, and by Miapa Latin Cafe.
Alongside ESPN college basketball analyst Mark Wise, here's Steve Russell.
Welcome into another edition of Hoop There It Is, as we are now into the month of March. We are now into the postseason. Champ Week continues. Some teams have already punched their tickets, including the team that Florida baseball played this weekend. High Point is in the dance. But we're going to bring in Mark Wise, who is going to join us today, as he always does. Mr. Wise, good to have you, sir. How are you? Hello there. How are you?
Doing good. Coming to you from Lake Charles, Louisiana today, where I'm here for the Southland Conference Tournament. We'll be watching the quarterfinals today, and then we're broadcasting the semis and the finals the next 2 days. The finals Wednesday, an early start, 6 a.m., I think. 6 a.m., 6 p.m. Eastern on the Deuce.
Yeah, 6 a.m., that would have been early.
Yeah, that's a swimming. I don't know. Greg Troy would be very proud of me for being 6 a.m.
Yeah, he would be very proud of you indeed. All right, let's do our Gator game recap, Mark, brought to you by Holiday Inn University Center. Looking for the perfect stay in Gainesville? Holiday Inn Gainesville University Center, steps away from the swamp, the closest hotel to UF. Whether it's game day, graduation, or a Gator getaway, make your stay extraordinary at Holiday Inn University Center. You can visit online for details and booking. Florida goes to Kentucky, handles business. That's all you can say.
Yeah. I actually want to start with the midweek game against Mississippi State because we've talked on this show a lot about continuity. Thomas Houck did not play in the game, so they went with three bigs, starting Micah Hanlogden as the third big. And Florida kind of fell behind early, and it was almost predictable. So when you talk about continuity and this time of the year, this is the worst time of the year to get anybody injured. And so they held Houck out, and then Florida eventually won very comfortably. And then on Saturday against Kentucky, they just got themselves in front and played in front. I know it got a little scary at the end, but Houck was marvelous coming off that not playing midweek. So from that standpoint, Florida did what they were supposed to do. UConn loses to Marquette. And as a consequence, I think everybody now has Florida as the fourth number one on that one seed line as far as bracketology is concerned.
By the way, if you want to call us, talk to Mark, you can call us on the Campus USA phone line, 392-8255. Any Facebook Live questions, we'll get them from Caroline, who's producing, courtesy at the UF Bookstore. Any YouTube questions, courtesy of Ruse Ogra State Farm. Appreciate all of them. Email Mark, from Mark. Coach Hartman has done a terrific job of teaching the Gator Bigs to wall off their defender, creating an open driving lane for the ball handler. I've often wondered why that's not considered an offensive foul on the big.
Well, because you disguise it by ducking in first. So ducking in is an offensive move. And then, as you call it, walling off, or as Mark called it, walling off, it's more of a seal but you duck in to present yourself offensively and then just kind of seal that defender. So Florida's really good at it. It's called the Gortat because there was an NBA player named Gortat who kind of got famous doing it. But the whole trick of the Gortat is to duck in first and create the offensive look and then seal your defender.
We will take a phone call here. Mike, hello. Mike, go ahead.
I'm here. You can't hear me?
I got you now. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to, all day yesterday I heard by ESPN guys on the radio how the difference between UConn and Florida was still razor thin. Let me read these facts to you. You tell me if it's razor thin. The Gators, the last 11 games are 11-0 and 8 straight on the road. UConn is 8-3 in the last 11 games, and 2 of those losses were to teams with unranked with losing records. Marquette was 12-19. Creighton was 14-16. The Gators have 11 quad one wins. UConn has 7. The Gators' strength of schedule is 3rd. UConn is 20th. The Gators are 4th in KenPom. UConn 11th. In net rankings, the Gators are 4th. UConn is 9th. The Gators' margin of victory in the last 11 games is by 22 points. A 2.5-hour drive from UConn's campus to Madison Square Garden, 4-point win 4 months ago doesn't outweigh all of this. This is not razor thin. Why are they being propped up?
2 things. One is the metric that the committee is going to use a lot this year is a thing called WAB, wins above the bubble. I could explain it, but it would take 2 or 3 hours. It basically takes the 45th team ranked in the net and says, let them play your schedule. Now, how many more wins would you have gotten or have you gotten versus that 45th ranked team? Anyway, it doesn't matter. UConn kind of wins that battle. First of all, let me finish first. So WAB is 1, and when you say head-to-head was played 4 months ago, if Florida had won that game, your opinion of that would change dramatically. So everything counts the same, whether it was November, December, January, February, March. Those that all the notations that you made down the stretch are both factual and accurate. They have very little meaning. What does have meaning is that UConn has lost some of these games down the stretch. So that's the reason why, in my opinion, Florida has indeed jumped UConn. Is it still close? Yeah. And if Florida, I would say, loses before the final, then it'll even get closer if UConn wins the Big East.
Well, let me rebut that. You say that because of the UConn.
I'm telling you what the committee is going to do.
I know they look at KenPom. I know they look at net.
I'm telling you what the committee is going to do.
Well, it's my understanding they look at KenPom, they look at net, they look at strength of schedule, they look at how you're playing recently, and you just said
recently does not matter. Recently does not matter. The last 10 games, first 10 games, the exact same.
But you just said because of their 2 losses to unranked teams, you would put Florida ahead.
The losses, but
those are horrible losses. They're not to Florida, not to UConn.
They have a bad loss.
Arizona,
Florida doesn't have a bad loss.
Yeah, but those are horrible losses, and they happened in the last. You don't think that they look at how the team's playing right now? I think they do.
No, they don't.
Well, then that's wrong because you want to pick the best teams, right? How they're playing right now.
Again, no, you don't, Mike. Because if that's the case, if that's the case, a team that's 10-0 that started out 0-4 would be considered. The body of work is what you look at.
Well, I just read of the body of work of Florida, winning games by 22 points. Their strength of schedule is much better.
We're not going to argue anymore.
Thank you, Mike. Lost to UConn.
Yeah. If you listen to what he's saying, Mike, which you're not, he is saying Florida should be a number 1 seed. And that's what you're saying. So that's the bottom line here.
Yeah.
Right? Monty, what is your and Mark's opinion of the future of Kelly Ray Finley?
I'm just not. I don't follow the team. I'm not around them. I'm not qualified to speak on that. Steve, maybe you have a thought there?
I do. Look, I think it is the job of any athletic director to look at a program and decide, is Coach X the right coach to lead you on, right? Has Florida gotten a little bit better? Yes, I think, but we don't know the NIL. We don't know any of that. I would imagine they'd be in the WNIT, some postseason tournament, and then, figure it out from there. But I think Scott Strickland's job, as it is for any coach in this program, is to look and see, hey, is this coach going to lead us to where we want to go with Program X? Daryl, Mark, do you have a sleeper team in the SEC tournament? How many games does Auburn need to win to make the big dance?
Auburn needs to win at least 2 and probably 3. The quantity of losses, I think, are just going to be hard to overcome. If I had a sleeper team, do I have a team that maybe is going to play the first day that might get to the semis? Maybe Texas. I say that because I like their mix of offense in terms of the perimeter guys with Pope and Swain and Tremont Mark, and Boca Titus is a problem inside. Remember that Florida game was close until the last, 10 minutes or so. So I like them for a lot of reasons. They do not defend, and that is a big time problem. But I might say that a little bit about Alabama. Arkansas has gotten better. Is Acuff going to play in the SEC tournament? That's a big question mark. And then if you get in the bottom half of the draw, if you get Alabama, Arkansas meeting again, remember in the semifinals, remember those two teams played that 117 to 115, maybe the game of the year in college basketball earlier this season. If they play each other, that's must-see TV.
Agreed. Quality Play of the Week brought to you by Quality Plumbing. When you need a quality plumber, rely on the same company Gainesville's trusted since 1984. Quality Plumbing, their name says it all. Play of the Week, Mark.
Well, I don't know if you saw this, but earlier in the week in the Patriot League, Lehigh is the number 2 seed, and they're playing the number 10 seed Holy Cross. And it took a half-court shot at the buzzer by Nasir Whitlock for Lehigh to survive. They only had 2.1 seconds to go. It was tied at 66. He just launches it just beyond midcourt. It hits nothing but the bottom, and Lehigh survives. Why do I say that? Because yesterday in the Patriot, Boston University upsets Navy. Man, I hated that. Navy won the league 26-7, 17-1, but Navy scored with, I want to say, 6 seconds to go up 2, and then Boston U on the run shoots about a 30-footer that hits the bottom, beats Navy at Navy. Now Lehigh, who survived the midweek scare with the midcourt shot, is going to play Boston U on Wednesday for the right to go to the NCAA tournament. You just never know what the madness is going to bring.
Agreed. Coach of the Week brought to you by International Diamond Center. Don't settle for a knockoff diamond when you can get the best diamonds at the best prices. For quality, selection, and value, International Diamond Center is the official jeweler of the Florida Gators. What do you got, Mark?
I'm not going far for this one. Down the road to Tampa, Brian Hogston in his first year at USF wins the American. They'll be the number 1 seed in that tournament, finishes the year 23-8, outstanding 15-3 in league play. So good for the Bulls. They've won that conference 2 out of the last 3 years. Remember, they lost their coach tragically after winning the league 3 years ago. So good for the Bulls to be back on top of the American in short order.
Campus USA phone line. Porter, hello.
Hey, Steve, Coach Mark Wise, thanks for taking my call. One quick question before I forget. We're looking at bubble busters, that kind of thing. I don't follow the conference enough with UNC Wilmington and was it Charleston Southern, whoever the 1 and 2 seeds. I don't know if that's a 2-bid, if that would be a 2-bid conference. Any idea what that somebody is a bid stealer?
No, that's a 1-bid conference. I think the one to keep the eye on is the West Coast Conference. Santa Clara is kind of on the bubble. The West Coast Conference hasn't had 3 teams in the league for a while. It's usually Gonzaga and St. Mary's and that's it. But Santa Clara's had a great year. They beat St. Mary's earlier in the season, and they'll get another shot at them in the WCC semis.
I watched the game with them last night. It was very entertaining for sure.
It's an underrated league.
I go back a couple of weeks. I asked you a question, and I want to bring it up now. I said, if things fall into place, the last game of the year, Florida at Kentucky, it could mean something for both teams. It could mean something for one team. It could be for the conference champion, or it could be for us having already clinched and Kentucky fighting for a bye. And actually, it ended up being the last is what it worked out. What can you take off that victory? I thought we were playing really with house money perfectly, because if we'd have gotten upset, there's a lot of excuses and concessions that you can make for the loss of the timing and where it was, that kind of thing, and senior day up there and that kind of thing. But if we come out and win, it means so much more. And Kentucky dropped from a 4 to a 9 by that, so they get to play Wednesday.
Yeah, that was the biggest part of that game, is where Kentucky fell all the way out of any bye situation. So not only are they the 9 seed, but they're the very first game in the tournament, and they get LSU. LSU I just had on Saturday night in the 72 overtime game. I don't know if anybody caught any of that. But they played forever in that game against Texas A&M. So, that was, I think, a bigger consequence, or a more negative consequence for Kentucky than Florida.
All right.
Well, if Kentucky takes care of business, it'll be Kentucky and Missouri, and then we get the winner. And if it's Kentucky, they'll be playing their third straight game in 3 days and just right at 48 hours. So do you expect a really, really fast pace from us? If that works out that way, I'll take it off the air. Go Gators. Be safe.
That's an easy one for me, because that answer will be coming up later in the show.
Ooh. How about Duquesne?
Yeah.
Trailing Richmond 40-10, and they won.
Yeah, I mean, yes, it's a big number. I get it, but it's in the first half. Basketball's a game of runs. But now that's a little extraordinary. No question about it. So, again, man, they call it the madness for a reason.
Yes, they do. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Much more with Mark on this week's edition of Hoop There It Is, as you listen on WRUF.
WRUF Sports Center.
I'm Lucas Perez. Florida men's basketball is now ranked 5th in recent polls after chomping down on the Kentucky Wildcats this past Saturday. The Gators are heading into the SEC tournament as the number 1 seed. Todd Golden expresses his thoughts towards the team.
They were getting real physical. They were selling out defensively. The refs were letting them play physically, and I thought we didn't counteract it with playing, with enough tension in our bodies and being on the attack. We always want to play to win. I thought we were playing a little bit not to lose, to just get to zeros on the clock the last 5 or 6 minutes.
Florida looks to start their NCAA campaign this Friday. On another note, Florida men's baseball came back from a 5-run shortfall to claim the series over High Point with a 12-11 victory at Condren this past Sunday afternoon. This delivered Florida's 7th come-from-behind win of the season. The Gators look to welcome rivals Florida State in an enticing matchup tomorrow, March 10th.
The commitment from IDC to first responders is really extraordinary.
Veteran firefighter Johnny Hinton talks about International Diamond Center's ongoing support for our heroes in uniform.
IDC has helped us raise just massive amounts of money.
Johnny says in addition to corporate gifts to support charity fundraisers, IDC is there every day, helping first responders with an extra 15% discount on any purchase.
Again, thank you guys so much.
International Diamond Center at Celebration Point.
It's no fun being injured. The last thing you want to deal with is long wait times or high costs. Well, guess what? You don't have to, thanks to Titan MRI and Imaging. The experience at Titan MRI and Imaging is much more personal than a sterile atmosphere of a hospital. Joe and his team are personally involved and will guide you through the entire process at any of their 3 convenient locations. And they accept insurance. So if you need a scan, save time and money, and call Titan MRI and Imaging. Learn more at TitanMRI.com.
Every great team is built on a solid game plan, sharp execution, and total trust in the crew beside you. At Quality Plumbing, we bring that same championship mindset to every job we do. For over 40 years, we've been the starting lineup for homes and businesses across North Central Florida, delivering reliable service, expert craftsmanship, and big wins for our customers. Call us today or visit qualityplumbing.com. We're your first string team. License number CFC 043073.
Gator fans, this one's for you. Introducing Castaway Sauce Company, the hot sauce made by Gators for Gators. Their signature ball kicker hot sauce is inspired by Steve Spurrier's famous kick that beat Auburn in '66. If you love hot sauce with real flavor, not just heat and vinegar, Castaway delivers. Available at select public supermarkets, Castaway Sauce Company is founded by a lifelong Gator and proud UF alum. From mild to wild, they've got a flavor for every Gator tailgate. Grab your Castaway hot sauce today and taste the tradition. Learn more at CastawaySauceCompany.com.
It's tip-off time, Alachua County. The gym is alive, the crowd is loud, and basketball season is heating up. From fast breaks to buzzer beaters, basketball brings the passion, teamwork, and pride that unite our community. Whether you're on the court or cheering from the stands, Coke Florida, your local Coca-Cola bottler, is proud to support the moments that bring Alachua County together. Brought to you by Coke Florida, refreshing Florida fans. Here's to a winning season on and off the court. Let's go!
Craving real Cuban flavor? Come to Mi Apa Latin Cafe, where every bite brings you home. From our juicy roast chicken with yellow rice and black beans, our breakfast options to sweet plantains, empanadas, and our iconic Cuban cafecito, we've got what your taste buds are waiting for. And with 6 locations, there's sure to be one near you serving up warm hospitality and authentic breakfast, lunch, or dinner vibes whenever hunger strikes. So head over to Mi Apa Latin Cafe, the best Cuban food north of Miami. Visit miapalatincafe.com or stop by your nearest location today.
When the late, great Charlie Daniels would need a place for jewelry he could trust, he turned to International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange.
Hi, I'm Charlie Daniels, and I live in Tennessee, but when I get ready to do something serious about jewelry or a gift for my wife or somebody, I always get in touch with the folks at International Gold and Diamond Exchange here in Gainesville. There's a lot of reasons for that. One reason is they sell nothing but the best.
Find out what Charlie was talking about for yourself at International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange at 3440 West University Avenue and online at igdwex.com.
March Madness is coming to WRUF.
Josie's on a vacation far away.
Silverback Concrete is a family-led team of heavy concrete specialists built from concrete and steel, precision and grit. Silverback Concrete, we've got your back.
Welcome back to Hoop. There it is. That is Mark Wise. I'm Steve Russell. Caroline's our producer today. If you want to give us a call, email us, however you want to talk. Don't forget Campus USA phone line, 392-8255. Any Facebook Live questions, Caroline gets them to us, courtesy of the UF Bookstore. YouTube questions all come from Ruse Ogra State Farm. Mark, Brandon, this may be a silly question. What's the big difference for the basketball team being a 1 or a 2 seed? I'm happy either way. And then can you ask Mark his opinion on the NBA coming after Coach Golden, especially if he wins back-to-back titles?
I don't, I hate to speculate on coaching carousel. I mean, Todd Golden has, I think, proven himself to be one of the elite coaches in the country. And, I wouldn't be surprised at anything that's going to get thrown out there. But I'm pretty sure Florida's going to make a significant effort to keep him at all costs. So I don't know about that. What was the first part of that?
He wanted to know what the difference was between a 1 and a 2 seed.
Yeah, truthfully, there's not a whole lot. Theoretically, in the second round, you play a little bit better team in the 7, but the 7, 8, 9, 10, you know what the difference is between those teams? 1 possession. So I don't know that there's a whole lot. There is some. The biggest advantage from being a 1 is that you get to choose, unless you're the last number 1, you get to choose which regional site you want to go to. And it starts with the number 1 seed, and they'll choose which regional site, and then it kind of dominoes down.
Let's do our hottest team of the week, brought to you by Castaway Sauce Company. Hot sauce made by Gators for Gators. From mild to wild, they've got a flavor for every Gator tailgate. Available at your local Publix or CastawaysSauceCompany.com. Hottest team of the week, Mark.
Well, Steve, it's easy. It has to be 31-0. What an accomplishment for Miami of Ohio. And again, they survive an overtime game on the road in Athens, Ohio at OU. But my goodness, there's a lot of chatter about Miami if they don't win the MAC tournament. I think as long as they only lose the MAC championship game to Akron, I think they're in. If they get beat in the quarters or semis, then that brings in a different conversation. It goes to the point that I think should be in our NCAA tournament, whether it stays at 68 or goes to 76. We have to, I think, guarantee a couple of bids for teams outside the Power Five. This happens every year. It happened to Indiana State a couple of years ago. It's happening now with Miami. I mean, these teams should be in for what they have accomplished. Miami of Ohio only answers one of the 4 questions that every team has to answer with their resume. Who'd you play? They played no one. Who'd you beat? They didn't beat anybody of significance, but where did you beat them? And they are obviously undefeated on the road. They have some ridiculous number like 12, 13, and 0 on the road. That's what's going to save them, in my opinion.
Mark, do you think there's any validity? Because I've heard their coach say, we tried playing people. They won't play us. Is there validity to that?
There's absolutely validity in it. But in my opinion, then you've got to go find an MTE that you can get in. And that will present such opportunities. And that means sometimes you got to buy your way in. And that's a different conversation for another day.
Yeah, it sure is. All right, games to watch brought to you by Coke Zero. The new and improved recipe tastes like real Coca-Cola. 0 sugar, 0 calories.
Well, I'm going to skip over to Wednesday because that's when the SEC tournament will start in the first round. And for Kentucky, for us to talk about Kentucky in the very first game of the tournament is kind of odd, but there they are. Also, on Tuesday, I got ahead of myself. Tomorrow night, you want to turn into the Southland Conference semis, and of course, that's self-serving. Wednesday, I talked about that, and then Wednesday night is before during, because we're an earlier start. The Southland finals are Wednesday, so I'm doing the semis tomorrow, the finals on Wednesday, and then Saturday, skip over to Saturday, and there's all kinds of Champ Week games. The very first NCAA final will be played in the OVC. It's 8 p.m. on Saturday night on E2.
Mike in Tallahassee says, enjoy listening to you guys. Thank you for listening, Mike. Thoughts on Danny Hurley? He has to understand he's crossed the line and it hurts his team?
Yeah, again, it gets tiresome. That's what I'd say about Hurley. Every time he's made himself bigger than the game, and that needs to stop. A $25,000 fine should have a 1 in front of it. And I understand that it wasn't much of a bump into the official, but any touching of an official is immediate ejection. And so he just is a guy that kind of lives his basketball world, not even on the edge, over the edge. And the only way to get these guys' attention, I think, is to get in their pocket. $25,000 he will sneeze at.
Yes, no doubt. We'll take a break. We'll come back about halfway done with this week's Hoop. There it is. Plenty of time to talk to Mark and talk to us and talk hoops as you listen on WRUF.
For the first time ever in a public setting outside the Heisman Trophy ceremony in New York City, 3 legends are coming to Gainesville. Join Steve Spurrier, Daniel Werfel, and Tim Tebow together with their Heisman trophies for the Legends Gala at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill on Monday, March 30th. Enjoy an unforgettable night of Gator greatness while supporting the incredible mission of Isaiah 117 House. Tickets are limited. Get yours now at FLLegends.com. That's FLLegends.com. Don't miss your chance to be a part of Gator history.
March is here. It's time to go big with a new 4K TV or projector from Electronics World, so you can catch every slam dunk, three-pointer, and buzzer beater. Electronics World has the best names in the business: LG, Samsung, and Sony, with Ultra HD TVs up to 100 inches. Or let the pros at EW design a system with a 4K projector and custom-installed screen. Add a surround sound system so you can feel like you're at mid-court. Visit Electronics World in Gainesville today or online at electronicsworld.net.
Gator Nation, did you know the UF Bookstore, located right inside the University of Florida's Rights Union, is more than just textbooks? That's right. Gear up with officially licensed Gator merchandise from top brands like Nike, Peter Lamar, Lululemon, Columbia, Tommy Bahama, Apple, and more. From game day to every day, we've got the styles Gators love. Stop by the Florida Bookstore at Rights Union. The Florida Bookstore, where Gators shop.
Go Gators!
Hey, have you ever talked to Ruse Agra over at State Farm?
Oh yeah, Ruse is awesome. Helped me get a ton of coverage for way less than I expected, and he serves all of North Florida. Super friendly too, actually takes time to explain everything.
Really? I thought State Farm would be pricey.
Nope, surprisingly great rates. You get that neighborly service you don't find everywhere. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I might give Ruse at State Farm a call.
You should. Call 352-240-1779 for a free quote. You'll be glad you did.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Why did the Chick-fil-A cross Archer Road? So you don't have to. Chick-fil-A now has the pleasure to serve you from both sides of Archer Road. Both locations include drive-through and carry-out options, or dine in at the Chick-fil-A on the north side of Archer Road. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner, we're open at 6 a.m. with drive-through open until 10 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Chick-fil-A also caters. We'll bring our original chicken sandwich, delicious dipping sauces, and famous Chick-fil-A lemonade to you. Chick-fil-A, eat more chicken.
It's a new year, kind of a new season, and Coach Steve Spurrier knows the importance of teamwork.
Any head coach that is successful, he's got to have a good staff. So team is very important, just like it is at Campus USA, and I'm proud to be part of that group.
Listen to the head ball coach and make the right play. Start your new year in a better financial place. Campus USA Credit Union. Check out campuscu.com. campuscu.com.
Looking for the perfect stay in Gainesville? Holiday Inn Gainesville University Center is just steps from the Swamp, the closest hotel to UF. With 6 stylish floors of brand new everything, we've been completely renovated and fully remodeled for your comfort. Enjoy the best guest services in town, competitive rates, and a location you just can't beat. And don't forget about our rooftop pool. Whether it's game day, graduation, or a Gator getaway, make your stay extraordinary at Holiday Inn Gainesville University Center. Visit us online today for details and booking.
Good luck surviving the offseason, football fans.
At first I was afraid, I was petrified. Football's over, it's like a part of me just died inside. 200 days till football's back, but tonight I won't just cry, cause I've got a ways to play. And that's the place with Hard Rock Bet, I will survive.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
The NCAA Tournament is coming to WRUF this March.
At Titan MRI and Imaging, you'll visit the only locally owned and operated MRI imaging center in town. Start feeling better today. It's your choice. TitanMRI.com.
He is Mark Wise. I'm Steve Russell. Thanks for tuning in to Hoop. There it is as we get into the madness here. Baller of the Week, Mark, brought to you by Crystal Air and Water. Family-owned and operated Crystal Air and Water services air conditioners, furnaces, boilers, and more for Gainesville, Alachua, and surrounding areas. They're not comfortable till you are. Baller of the Week, sir.
Steve, on my broadcast Saturday night from LSU, I did the Professors Awards for the season, and the SEC does recognizes first team, second team, third team, only 5 players on each team. I kind of split the difference and went with my top 8. And I left this guy off, and I argued with myself about it. And it just kind of boils down to the team hasn't had a very good year. Mississippi State has really struggled. Josh Hubbard has not. He had 42 against Georgia on Saturday. But I want you to listen to the efficiency numbers. He was 16 for 27 from the field. He was 7 for 15 from deep, and he made all 3 of his free throws. Also had 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Josh Hubbard, who would be first team, I think, in a lot of conferences across the country, may get left out. I hope he finds his way into the second or third team this year. But my goodness, what a season, what a career Josh Hubbard is having for Mississippi State.
Mark, I'm glad you said that because I couldn't agree more with you. He doesn't get the exposure that, because Mississippi State's not very good. He's a hell of a player. I agree with you 1,000,000%.
Think about this, Steve. He's getting 42 when he is number 1, 2, 3, 4 on the scouting report.
Right.
Okay, number 1, you're going to have to guard Hubbard. Number 2, you're going to have to be there before the catch on Hubbard. Number 3, you cannot let him shoot a 3-shot off the bounce, and so on and so forth.
Yes. All right, let's go to our Campus USA phone line. Gordy, hello.
Hey, how are you today?
Good.
I got a question for Mark. With the SEC tournament coming up, if the Gators lose in the first round and go home and rest, is that a plus or is that a liability? Does it matter?
Well, it's a great question. Yeah, it's a great question, and it's one that many people have argued that the most important thing, if you're the 1 seed or you already know that you're in the NCAA tournament bound, the most important thing is for you to come out of the SEC tournament healthy. Remember the Hanlock injury a couple of years ago that happened in the SEC tournament. So from that standpoint, rest is important. But Florida, won the SEC tournament last year and followed that up by winning 6 games in the NCAA tournament to take home the championship trophy. So it can be done. I would like to see where any conference tournament winner on Sunday does not play until Friday. That would be the only thing I would like to add to the tournament.
So is it a momentum issue? I mean, if
no,
it's
simply a health and rest issue. Yeah, I mean,
not a momentum.
Not for somebody like Florida. Now they're also fighting for a number 1 seed, and so that becomes important. But right now, I'm not sure you can get much more momentum than Florida has.
So is that a momentum killer if they lose?
Not just 1 game. No, not in a neutral court setting. No.
Body of work.
Yeah.
Body of work.
All right, Gordy.
Okay,
thank you for your
Mark.
call. Yep, appreciate it. Todd says, I predict Florida is going to attempt to impose an up-tempo pace in the NCAA tournament. I don't see many teams keeping 40-minute pace against our 8-man rotation. If we're in a close game late, I contend our free throws will be a point of concern, especially from the bigs. Houck's the only one I have confidence in. Do you see a scenario where we utilize Brown, Klabshaw, Fland, Lee, and Houck for the higher free throw shooting percentage?
Well, of course. But at the same point in time, Florida is so good with those bigs on the lineup that other teams are having trouble scoring, especially at the rim. So I don't think you want to give that up. In terms of the pace and space that Florida plays with, I've said this for a month now. You just don't get how fast Florida plays by watching them on television. It is so elite the way that their bigs can all not just run the floor, but sprint the floor. And with Condon, you've got a guy 6'11" who can get the rebound and lead the break. Even if you score, Florida's ability to get the ball into front court in the first 3 seconds immediately puts you on your heels defensively. Yes, that is the way Florida is going to continue to play in the SEC tournament and in the NCAA tournament.
You know, Mark, sometimes when I think it's the world we live in, if you're not playing well or doing well, social media can whack you, there's criticism, and sometimes when it gets turned around, there isn't the same accolade. Well, you mentioned it, right?
Wow.
You mentioned
that sounds
this.
familiar.
Yeah. Condon, what a turnaround, right? Remember how he was struggling? He's playing great now. And I'm not saying – go ahead.
I'm sorry. He did not make my 8-man team on the first team. He nor Mark Mitchell. I really struggled with both of them. If Condon had played the entire SEC season the way he's played in the back half, he'd be an MVP candidate.
Yeah.
So, but you cannot – these awards are for an 18-game schedule, so you have to evaluate it that way, I believe.
I agree. Top 4, here you go. Top 4 teams brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A on both sides of Archer Road. Enjoy juicy chicken, waffle fries, and more. Eat more chicken at Chick-fil-A.
No change this week. Duke, Michigan, Arizona, and Florida. I had Florida ahead last week, so no change for this week. It had nothing to do with UConn losing.
I want to go to a team that I don't know, Mark, gets enough. We talk UConn and Florida, Duke, very quietly Michigan. I love the way they beat Michigan State again. What are your thoughts on them?
They're so big. They're so skilled. And when we say positional size, they have it everywhere. Lindenborg, the transfer from UAB, is spectacular. Dusty May has a little bit like Todd Golden. They kind of taking these big lineups and played fast with them. That normally in the past, if we talk about a team that plays a big lineup, they kind of plod and grind games out. Michigan and Florida, very similar in the way they attack offensively. They're both great at protecting the rim. They do not allow many scores at the rim, and because of that, this is going to sound cliche, but when you're really good offensively and really big, can make threes, and you defend the rim, good things are going to happen.
Quick call here from Steve. Steve, hello.
Hey, Steve, Mark. I was watching the game on TV, and Dick Vitale kept making the point of how fast they score after a made basket, 4 seconds. Within 4 seconds, they're already scoring. So sometimes you see after a made basket, a player will grab the ball and throw it to the ref on the side, and then he gives it to the player to bring it in. Seems like that would be a good strategy to do every time to slow down the Gators after a made basket.
You mean, I think you're talking about two different things, because when the other team scores, they're not taking the ball out. Florida is so quick.
They're not taking it out. Sometimes, right, but sometimes they would just grab the ball after they make a basket. They will grab the ball and throw it to the ref.
it? Yeah, you'll get called for a delay of game warning one time. You're not allowed to do that. Teams do that.
You see it all the time.
I'm sorry?
No, I'm just saying you see it happen all the time.
It doesn't happen all the time.
It doesn't happen all the time. It doesn't even happen very often. And when it does happen, officials might let you get away with it one time, but they'll throw a delay of game warning. And then if you do it again, it's a technical.
I see. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate the call. Quickly, listen to Mark's call on Saturday night. Stop and watch when he calls a game, whether I have a rooting interest or not. Saturday night was a long game for him, but nothing like your Sunday game for baseball. Yeah, that was long.
Did you have a long game?
6.5 hours.
Okay, well, we were close to that. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, we
had a little weather here.
All I know is Kevin Fitzgerald threw it to the next game, which was Oklahoma, Texas, and Lowell Galindo was the play-by-play, and the first word that came out of his mouth live on television was, "Finally."
On that note, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll take a preview of the SEC tournament coming up next as you listen to Hoop. There it is on WRUF.
WRUF Sports Center.
I'm Rebecca Benezra. Florida men's basketball finished off the regular season with an 84-77 win over the Kentucky Wildcats. Although the Gators secured their 11th straight win and head into the SEC tournament as the number 1 seed, Coach Golden doesn't think his team handled pressure well in the final minutes.
They were getting real physical. They were selling out defensively. The refs were letting them play physically, and I thought we didn't counteract it with playing, with enough tension in our bodies and being on the attack. We always want to play to win. I thought we were playing a little bit not to lose, to just get to zeros on the clock the last 5 or 6 minutes.
On the baseball field, the Gators pulled off their 7th comeback win of the season. Florida rallied from 5 runs down to win 12-11 on a walk-off against High Point. Florida hosts number 20 FSU tomorrow night at 6:30, and coverage starts on WRUF at 6:25.
Ever dreamed of catching a touchdown pass from Tim Tebow or Danny Werfel, or taking a handoff from the legendary Steve Spurrier? Then you need to join the Florida Legends Experience on Monday, March 30th at the Alachua County at Celebration Point. You'll receive a personal video of your touchdown and a football signed by the Gator Legends. Enjoy an unforgettable day of Gator greatness while supporting the incredible mission of Isaiah 117 House. Tickets are limited. Get yours now at FLLegends.com. That's FLLegends.com. Don't miss your chance to be a part of Gator history.
When the late, great Charlie Daniels would need a place for jewelry he could trust, he turned to International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange.
Hi, I'm Charlie Daniels, and I live in Tennessee, but when I get ready to do something serious about jewelry or a gift for my wife or somebody, I always get in touch with the folks at International Gold and Diamond Exchange here in Gainesville. There's a lot of reasons for that. One reason is they sell nothing but the best.
Find out what Charlie was talking about for yourself at International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange at 3440 West University Avenue and online at igdwex.com.
Every great team is built on a solid game plan, sharp execution, and total trust in the crew beside you. At Quality Plumbing, we bring that same championship mindset to every job we do. For over 40 years, we've been the starting lineup for homes and businesses across North Central Florida, delivering reliable service, expert craftsmanship, and big wins for our customers. Call us today or visit qualityplumbing.com. We're your first string team. License number CFC 043073.
It's no fun being injured. The last thing you want to deal with is long wait times or high costs. Well, guess what? You don't have to thanks to Titan MRI and Imaging. The experience at Titan MRI and Imaging is much more personal than the sterile atmosphere of a hospital. Joe and his team are personally involved and will guide you through the entire process at any of their 3 convenient locations. And they accept insurance. So if you need a scan, save time and money and call Titan MRI and Imaging. Learn more at titanmri.com.
It's a new year, kind of a new season, and Coach Steve Spurrier knows the importance of teamwork.
Any head coach that is successful, he's got to have a good staff. So team is very important, just like it is at Campus USA, and I'm proud to be part of that group.
Listen to the head ball coach and make the right play. Start your new year in a better financial place. Campus USA Credit Union. Check out campuscu.com. campuscu.com.
Gator fans, this one's for you. Introducing Castaway Sauce Company, the hot sauce made by Gators for Gators. Their signature ball kicker hot sauce is inspired by Steve Spurrier's famous kick that beat Auburn in '66. If you love hot sauce with real flavor, not just heat and vinegar, Castaway delivers. Available at select public supermarkets, Castaway Sauce Company is founded by a lifelong Gator and proud UF alum. From mild to wild, they've got a flavor for every Gator tailgate. Grab your Castaway hot sauce today and taste the tradition. Learn more at CastawaySauceCompany.com.
The jewelry store with the most likes, the most positive reviews, the most raving fans is International Diamond Center.
IDC is definitely a place that I will come to as long as I live here. This will be my go-to place always.
Literally the best jewelry store in town. You'll make friends for life coming in here. I felt like family from the beginning. The value was extraordinary.
I've got a beautiful diamond on my finger, and I'm very proud of it.
International Diamond Center.
I'm very happy to show it off.
At Celebration Point and online at shopidc.com.
March is here. It's time to go big with a new 4K TV or projector from Electronics World, so you can catch every slam dunk, three-pointer, and buzzer beater. Electronics World has the best names in the business: LG, Samsung, and Sony, with Ultra HD TVs up to 100 inches. Or let the pros at EW design a system with a 4K projector and custom-installed screen. Add a surround sound system so you can feel like you're at mid-court. Visit Electronics World in Gainesville today or online at electronicsworld.net.
March Madness is coming to WRUF.
Meldon Law, with 55 years of experience, the only accident and injury law firm partner of the Florida Gators. Meldon Law won't back down.
Welcome back to Hoop. There it is, our final 5 or 6 minutes here of the show. Let's go back to the Campus USA phone line. Bernard is there. Bernard, hello.
Hey, y'all, go quick. Mark, do you think UCF and USF South Florida and Brigham Young are going to get a loss? I know BYU has a losing conference. And lastly, Mark, I think that if this team goes on to win a national championship, I still think last year's team would beat them and the 04-05 would beat both. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, was the second part about the going back-to-back?
Yes. No, I thought there's some recency bias, a lot about who's the best Florida team. I still think the team that won back-to-back will beat both of last year's team and this year's team. What are your thoughts on that?
I would probably agree with that, only from the standpoint that the 06-07 team had 3 NBA picks in the top 9 of that draft. Probably a little bit more talented team, but I don't think that team would want to play either of the last 2 teams that Florida's had either. My guess is if they played a 7-game series, the 04s, quote unquote, would probably win 4-2. And what was the first part of your question?
At large bids, do you think South
UCF?
Florida, UCF, and Brigham Young? Yes.
Yeah, Brigham Young, probably because of their previous work in the non-conference. I think they'll be in, but they're sliding quickly. UCF is also sliding quickly, and I think I saw them in the last 4 byes. If they want to be safe, probably win that first game in the Big 12 tournament. USF, on the other hand, I don't think they'll get in as an at-large. I think only the winner of that tournament is going to make it from the American, so they would be well served to go ahead and win that tournament. Now, oddly enough, that tournament has been in Fort Worth for the last, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. It's now in Birmingham this year for the first time. So that might favor UAB, but UAB has one of the strangest seasons I have ever seen. I won't get this exactly right, but they won yesterday. So they're like, I want to say 2-7 at home and 9-0 on the road in the league.
Wow.
Right,
so
okay.
maybe
Thank
playing
you.
at home for them is not a good thing.
Yeah. All right. Gators' next opponent brought to you by Miapa Latin Cafe. Proud to sponsor Gator basketball. When the opposing team misses consecutive free throws in the second half, everybody in the O-Dome would win a free empanada. That's the great Miapa miss.
Well, most likely Florida's going to, well, they will play either Missouri or Kentucky or LSU. The Missouri game seems so long ago now in terms of Florida's season. Florida's in a completely different place. Missouri's a very streaky 3-point shooting team. What isn't streaky is the play of Mark Mitchell, 6'9", puts the ball on the deck, drives it at your shoulders, shoots a lot of free throws, gets to the line a lot. He's a matchup problem for anybody. And then Kentucky, I was on earlier today in Lexington, and I was talking about Kentucky. Kentucky, oddly enough, and I don't know what they get on from the inside from one night to the next. But March, the NCAA tournament is a shot-making tournament, and it's obviously a guard tournament. We know that. Kentucky can fit both of those bills. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Kentucky win a game and give whoever they're playing in the second game just all kinds of fits. So that's, I think, how it stacks up right now.
Mark, we got 2.5 minutes left. A last email from BB. Thing late in the game Saturday brought me was the free throw demons that seemed to show up at inopportune times. Can't help but wonder, along with turnovers, might show up at the wrong time against a hot team or a team like Duke, Michigan, or Arizona. What are your thoughts on what the Gators have to do to overcome these factors when they face such teams?
Well, first of all, if turnovers and missing free throws are an issue, you're running the risk of going out, whether you're talking about the SEC tournament, the NCAA tournament, or any time in the regular season. It hasn't been a big issue lately, so I'm going to say it's a one-off, and we'll run with it from there. But certainly it's something to keep an eye on. And, Steve, before I quit today, I almost did this, and I decided not to, but, a proud dad moment yesterday. Samford women's basketball from the 6th seed won the SoCon. And their head coach, first year, a guy by the name of Matt Wise, is going to be in the NCAA tournament.
That's cool. That's very cool. Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you. Now we'll have to wait. Now you have to wait until Sunday night to see where they're going to be.
Okay, quickly here, last minute or so, your rundown of games.
Well, I'm at the Southland Conference. The first semifinal tomorrow is on the U at 6 o'clock. Then the second semifinal is on E+, 30 minutes after that game. And then Wednesday, we're the early start. And I want to say it's like 5 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Stephen F. Austin, the number 1 seed. McNeese, the number 2 seed. The tournament's played here at McNeese. Should be fun hoops.
All right. Always a pleasure to have you, my friend. And today, thanks for taking the extra time to do this.
Thanks to a lot of people for making today happen. Yeah.
Yep. Appreciate you, Mark. Thank you. All right. A reminder, Friday, I want to give a quick program note. Because of the SEC tournament, Sports Scene will air at 11 a.m. that day until about 12:30 or so, okay? That's going to be on Friday. I'll remind you of that as we go along here, but that's what's going to be the case there. And then tomorrow, I hope to have Gator great and current Gator assistant coach Torian Green here in studio tomorrow to talk some Gator hoops with you. So hopefully that's going to take place tomorrow as well. But that's it for today's Hoop. There it is. Once again, a big thanks to Mark Wise for being with us via the Zoom today, and thanks for his efforts in doing it. Thanks to Caroline for producing. Sports Scene's coming up next. Got a lot to talk about today. Want to hear from you on the calls, the emails, questions, comments as you listen on WRUF.
Craving real Cuban flavor? Come to Mi Apa Latin Cafe, where every bite brings you home. From our juicy roast chicken with yellow rice and black beans, our breakfast options to sweet plantains, empanadas, and our iconic Cuban cafecito, we've got what your taste buds are waiting for. And with 6 locations, there's sure to be one near you serving up warm hospitality and authentic breakfast, lunch, or dinner vibes whenever hunger strikes. So head over to Mi Apa Latin Cafe, the best Cuban food north of Miami. Visit miapalatincafe.com or stop by your nearest location today.
Concrete is tough, long-lasting, durable. And when it's done right, it's the foundation of everything that stands strong. At Silverback Concrete, we don't just pour concrete, we